But we stay in the Ashanti region because Love News checks are revealing that city authorities and managers of the Kejetia Market ignored system warnings and of course that situation led to the recent inferno that was witnessed at the Kejetia Market. Erastasari Donko has more in this report.
The old central market experienced series of fire outbreaks. The need for a well-structured edifice capable of withstanding and suppressing fire gave birth to the new Kejetia Market. A quarter of the $248 million invested in the construction went into the installation of fire protection systems. But on Wednesday, March 15th, part of the new Kejetia Market was gutted by fire. Traders lost valuable items to the inferno.
500 million. Me met no na eja na kan nipa kwa na ewura me medie no ti mapaten ma yesi tum me mani nyina na ne.
But how did the market, built on the idea of controlling fires, fail to control an outbreak? We set out to find answers. The fire defenses of the Kejetia Market have been designed to allow fire to be fought from within with the installation of smoke detectors to sniff out fires and sprinklers to suppress any outbreak. There are additionally 350 hose reel cabinets fitted with hose reels operated from a central fire pump designed to supply controllable volumes of water to fight fire. In each of these 350 cabinets is installed a fire extinguisher to deal with any eventuality. So this is a hose reel cabinet, and in here, contractor, I mean the Brazilian company that constructed this building, thought it wise that this will be another port of call to fight fire. Now inside this cabinet, when I close this door, you can see the fire extinguisher sign here, indicating that there was a fire extinguisher fixed here. And there are instructions on how to use the fire extinguisher. Pull the pin, aim at the base, squeeze trigger, sweep. If that is not working for you, they thought it wise. This hose reel, in the event of fire, people are trained to pull the hose reel out like that, and then you have a high pressure hose reel that can go up to a mile, can shoot water and be able to fight the fire. One of the first respondents to Wednesday's fire was Secretary to the Federation of Kumasi Traders, Rubin Ame. He tells Love News he pulled the hose reel, but there was no water in it.
So I called the chief fire officer to switch on the pressure pump for us, so that we could use that to douse the fire, because that's the last point of resort, which is a fire hose system, which represents the tender machine fire has been using. It took them 15 minutes for the pressure pump to come on. By the time the pressure pump came on, we had the first 3 blasts, and smoke was all over.
An inspection of the operating premises of the Kejetia Market during March and April 2022 by the contractor revealed market managers had switched off the fire pumps designed to stay on 24 hours due to a leakage that should have been fixed. Public Relations Officer for the Combined Traders Association, Andrews Kofi, confirms this.
Everything that is possible to quench fire is not working.
The report, which was submitted to the KMA and relevant authorities in 2022 for action, also found that smoke detectors were not working because market managers had failed to remove the manufacturer's cap, sealing the sensors. Many of the smoke detectors still had their manufacturer's cap fitted on it. You can see one there, the blue cap is still on, and so it is obvious that it will never be able to detect any fire within this enclave. And I have found many of the smoke detectors all along this flat still fitted with their manufacturer's cap. So, in other words, the smoke detectors are sealed, zipped. They are not detecting anything. Questions remain why fire officers at the market failed to detect this. Batteries for the panel of the detectors were also dead and had not been replaced. Traders had also blocked detection of fire by parking unused items on the metal mesh ceiling. Andrews Kofi again.
There are sprinklers which will automatically generate water to quench whatever fire it is. All these things are not working.
Our news team found that fire extinguishers that could have aided a swift first response to the fire are missing. So there are about 350 of these hose reel cabinets scattered all across this market. We've checked more than half of them, all of them empty. Where are the fire extinguishers installed by the manufacturer in these cabinets? We also saw evidence of cooking in the various shops contrary to instructions to restrict all cooking to a designated area. A situation found to have caused many of the fire outbreaks in the old Central Market. The fire service warned of possible fire outbreaks in its letters to city authorities last year. They also refused to renew the fire certificate for the market. The facility has since been operating without insurance, as corroborated by Andrews Kofi.
We pay 51,557.48 pesos as insurance. With insurance, they don't have even fire certificate to go for.
But you're still paying this amount of money.
Where is the money?
The report by contractor submitted to the KMA for action found that guidelines enshrined in the operation and maintenance manual handed over at the conclusion of the project were not carried out. But for the fire-resistant cement board, insulation membranes and fire-resistant paints coating the steel structures, fire could have spread to many shops. So if you have invested $248 million in an edifice, wouldn't you go to every mile to ensure that that edifice is protected against any destruction? That is the story of the Kejetia market. As traders resume trading in the market, many of these system lapses still remain unresolved. A stitch in time saves 9. Reporting for JoyNews, Erastus Asaredonko, Kumasi.
And Erastus is still here with us on the story. Erastus, what do we know about the measures being taken by the fire service and city authorities now to correct the lapses within the system? Erastus, if you can hear me, I'm just asking about what measures we know now will be installed, will be in place, just to forestall the recurrence of this disaster. Looks like we're having some challenges hearing from Erastus Asari Donko there. But Erastus, let's try one more time. If you can hear me, I'm just asking about what we know now, if indeed there are any measures that are being taken by city authorities to reverse this trend. What do we know about it?
I can hear you now.
Yes. So I'm just asking, yes.
We had some information. We have been shown documents indicating that there were warnings coming in from the Ghana National Fire Service that fires could break out in the facility. And there were earlier warnings by a contractor, the Brazilian contractor, experts from there, because there was an earlier fire which was contained by the system. At that time, the system was working. And so when they went round to check, they found that there were system lapses. Many of the fire protection systems were not working because managers of the facility, city authorities have not ensured that they were doing routine checks that will enable the fire protection systems to stay on and be able to detect fire and even suppress fire. And so we had to take a letter that was written to the KMA boards and the local government ministry, and then check them one by one at the market facility. Can you imagine that we found that the manufacturer's cap on the smoke detectors were still on? They were not removed. And it tells you that the detectors were not detecting anything because the sensors were capped. And these are some of the lapses. The fire pump, for example, was also put off, but it's supposed to be on 24/7 to ensure that it maintains a certain pressure, so that when you pull the hose reels, you will get high pressure water to be able to fight on your own. So you wouldn't really necessarily need an external intervention to be able to fight the fire. Many of the fire extinguishers, as you saw there, are missing. Well, I am told from different sources that they were removed by the managers of the facility. As to why they removed them, where they are at the moment, we do not know. I think these are questions that authorities and those who are investigating need to go through to ensure that the fire protection system heavily invested in by the contractor will kick in for future eventualities.
And in that report, you're pointing out how, of course, we found out some traces of cooking even in some of the stalls, which is not supposed to be the case. The security agency, speaking up one in connection to that, has investigations on the matter, unraveled some more about whether or not that could be the likely reason for which the inferno happened.
Well, so we do understand that one woman has been picked up. I do not have much information as to where investigation has gone in that direction. We are also picking signals the last time we went there that the fire service has been there looking for other clues. What is interesting to note is that there is a fire station in there. How they did not detect that, for example, the smoke detectors are still sealed with the manufacturer's cap, which of course is a dent, because then they are not detecting anything. The wire mesh that covers the top of the ceiling have been packed with materials, unused materials, preventing the smoke detectors, if they were working, to even detect smoke coming in from the various shops. That one has not also been identified. All these lapses are still very relevant at the moment, and I think that with time, we are expecting that investigations will cover all those system lapses and make sure that a quarter of $248 million invested in fire protection system in the market will be able to kick in and be able to protect that major facility.
And Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia giving the directive for trading activities to resume in the facility. Is business speaking?